I am in love with Monster Hunter Wilds. And I love getting better in video games. That's why I've been checking out speedruns for my favorite weapon, Longsword, to get better and better at this game. And this led me to this video, Zoh Shia Longsword solo in 4 minutes from Finks. This skill is absolutely beautiful. But what build does it use? How does it even work? Actually, I did. And we're gonna go through how this build from Finks works out so well, and also how you can actually make it better. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Go to my Ko-Fi if you want to support my content. Go to my Twitch to watch me live every morning, and let's get into it. So, first of all, guys, let's all go in here and subscribe to Finks. He's great. He's been doing some great content for Monster Hunter, and they should be rewarded for it. Subscribe, give them a like, and support them, okay? But let's go to the next thing, which is indeed the build. You can see the build right here, and it's actually a very interesting one. We're going to go through every one of the skills and through one little thing that actually makes this build worse than it actually should be. So, we are inside of the game. I'm going to set up this here. We're going to go to this build right here. So, first of all, thing I need to talk about is that the fact that I don't actually have the Artian weapon that they are using. They're using actually an Artian weapon with Dragon. You can see the setup they have right here. You can go for this, of course, but you can also go for a white for a blazing grapple from Zoh Shia. The damage is going to be comparable anyways. I'm sure that the Artian weapon is better, but look, there's a reason why people are really like they're really blasting with white flame torrent is because it's very, very good. And yeah, it's very, very good. So, you know, if you don't have the other one, that's okay. I also don't have the razor sharp one, so just don't pay attention to that, okay? I'm going for mastery, but, you know, regardless. Let's talk about the actual skills from the armor, though. So, the big thing about this build is that they're trying to maximize Agitator, because Zoh Shia is almost always on agitated mode. He's always enraged. And the thing about Agitator is that it's going to give you a good amount of damage. You know, 20 attack and affinity 15%. It's absolutely great, right? They also have Counter-Strike because obviously you want to, you know, sheath in with your longsword and use EI to trigger this, because when you get hit by it, but you evade it with the EI, you'll be able to get that buff anyways. This also applies for Spirit Helm Breaker. So it's super, super good. Maximum Might, also great because you're not gonna be using stamina a lot, so you're gonna have this percentage of affinity active all the time when you have your stamina full. Antivirus, because you have 2 pieces of gore that will give you frenzy, and then antivirus will cure it instantly, and then you're gonna get yourself 15% affinity. So it's super good. Quick sheath, because, well, you want to sheath your weapon very fast in order to evade those attacks and do big damage. You also get yourself Flare on this, which is interesting because the biggest reason is because you want to create as many wounds as you can, and whenever you break them with your focus strike, your longsword, you're gonna get more gauge, and also you're gonna stun the boss, which gives you more time to do more damage. So super, super good. And you also have Convert Element, which is an interesting ability here, an interesting skill, because whenever you get damaged by the fire from the boss, you're gonna be able to do a bit more damage afterwards. And you're gonna get hit sometimes because you're gonna use your Spirit Helm Breaker to trigger it, whether you want or not, and this will, you know, provide you with a bit more damage. Now, this is not really like super, 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 super needed, but it's pretty good regardless, right? And you also get yourself Coalescence, because whenever you cure your antivirus, you're gonna be getting more damage, more elemental damage, right? And because, of course, your elemental damage is Dragon, boom, you're gonna do more damage to the boss. Now, here is one little thing that I don't quite understand. In the build here from Mr. Finks, they don't run Nominous Chest, they actually run Blango, which does the same thing. I'm just gonna show you right here when I find it. I think it's over... Where's the Blango set? Where's the Blango chest? There we go. Blango Mel, 2 Agitator and a 2-tier set. 2-tier decoration. But the one that I have right here is the same thing. 2 Agitator, more defense because it's a, you know, higher rank armor, and a tier 3 decoration, which you replace anyways with a tier 2. So I don't really know why. And also, by the way, you get yourself the 2 set for Zoh Shia giving you more health. So I'm not sure why they actually go for this. Maybe there's an explanation. Maybe you don't want to heal or something. Please let me know in the comments down below if I'm missing something here, but it doesn't seem like it's worth it at all. And getting the Zoh Shia pulse so you can have your health just recovering over and over again on a boss fight that actually gives you, deals a lot of damage to you, seems way more positive. So there you go. This one should be better for you. That being said, I don't think the Nominus 2 set is very useful in order to do more damage. You probably could get something better, right? Maybe there's just, no, that's what I thought at least. Maybe there's no way of doing this. It's the only way combination of setting this up. But I found that weird. I found that like surely there's a better version of this. And then I thought, wait, I know that the Rathalos set actually works well with the White Flame Torrents. So what if you go for that instead? And I started experimenting. And it took me a few days to actually figure this out. And we got this builds, okay? These builds that absolutely are great, and in my opinion, a bit better. The thing is I was able to set up this entire build with Rathalos set, 2 set, which gives you Scorcher, which gives you more damage, which is absolutely great. Now, you do sacrifice 1 agitator for this, but you get yourself a weakness exploit. It makes it so it doesn't matter as much, because the big thing about agitator is that it gives you affinity, and weakness exploits, guess what it gives you? Affinity. So it ends up being kind of more or less the same. And we're going to go through the versions that I have right here and which ones are better or not. But first, let's talk about why, let's talk about this build and also how much more damage they do. So I got this little Excel sheet here. Yeah, I know, I'm just such a professional Monster Hunter Wilds content creator now. Just like my favorite YouTuber, Dream Song Tide. I feel so proud of getting slowly getting into their shoes, slowly trying to catch up to their greatness. But here you go. Here is the build from Finks. I'm just gonna put it right here, right? Finks build. My number 1 build. Okay. And then this one, my number 2 build. Okay. So these are the differences between them. For Finks, you have Agitator 5. So I'll only cover the things that are different. Everything else in these builds are going to be exactly the same, right? So Finks have Agitator 5, which gives you 20 raw, and it gives you Soul Elemental and 15% affinity. So for my first build which is this one, let me just show it right here. Full quick sheet, boom. We're gonna equip it. These are the pieces you're gonna get: Gore Helmet, Nominus Sharp B, Rathalos Van Braces, Rathalos Coil, Gore, Greaves, and Counter Charm. You're gonna be able to see all of the decorations on this side as well, right? And the big thing it gives you is that, yeah, you're sacrificing 2 agitators, right? Which kind of sucks, but you're getting yourself 2 things that are very interesting, right? So, first of all, also, I had the decorations incorrectly. It was Chain here, not Challenger. Okay, there you go. But, yes, first of all, what it gives you is that it gives you Burst, which is an ability that is super good. And it does 5 damage on level 1, Elemental and Raw, the first attack, and then 8 for Raw, and the 5th attack, and 6 on the and 6 damage on the 5th attack on Elemental. This is actually very good, especially because the Elemental damage is going to be Dragon, therefore in Zoh Shia it's going to be upgraded into way more damage, right? Now, you obviously are sacrificing agitators for this, but we're going to talk about why it's worth it. And you're going to get yourself Tenderizer, which gives you more affinity when you attack weak points. In this case, it's going to be 5 affinity for weak points and 8 for wounds, right? And on Zoh Shia, you're going to be doing damage to weak points all the time. So it's not really going to be a problem for you. Well, as long as you're playing correctly. So, I mean, it is what it is. And the thing about this is whenever you actually, consider this, you are going to end up doing -3 affinity compared to just having agitator at all times. And you're going to end up having the same affinity when you're actually attacking wounds, right? And for damage, you're going to end up doing -3 total damage compared to just agitator at all times. Now, this is actually a kind of a not real number because Burst will do elemental damage. And because this elemental damage is going to be in Dragon, this is going to be upgraded and it's going to be doing more damage than what you have here. I don't exactly know how much more. It's very complicated to actually calculate how much damage you're doing on a monster with elemental weaknesses because it depends on the part you're attacking and so many other things, so it's kind of confusing, but that's what it's gonna be. Now you can, the way I calculated this is that I went in here and I calculated the damage that you're gonna do overall. So 5 plus 8 from burst, raw damage, plus 5 plus 6 elemental damage, and then I divided by 5 because it takes you 5 attacks to actually trigger this, and that gave me 4.8, and then I put that plus the agitator 3 that I have to 16.8 compared to the raw damage that you would get from agitator. This gave me the minus 3.2. But that being said, obviously, you know, that's not gonna matter because you got yourself your dragon, so it's gonna be upgraded and gonna end up doing more damage, right? But Terrence, this is not that good, right? You're essentially everything is negative here. Well, the thing is, you also get yourself Scorcher, which deals 40 damage every few attacks, which is super good. Now, you can go check the video out on why Scorcher is good or not, what the good things and bad things about it from Krite. I'll leave it in the description down below. It's a bit more complicated than that, but the point is that having a Scorcher just in there for like essentially nothing, you're not really sacrificing anything for this. Only one agitator that you replace with a tenderizer anyways. It's definitely worth it, right? That being said, you can actually just replace your burst and get yourself into second tenderizer here, and do essentially the same, do a bit more damage, just in a different way. And that's what we're gonna go through in the second build. Now, this build is a bit unhinged because it does way more damage than the previous one we have, and it actually can be very similar to it. But the difference is that you have level 2 quick sheath instead. So you sacrifice 1 quick sheath level to get yourself weakness exploit 2. Now the difference between quick sheath level 3 and 2 is quite significant, right? It's gonna be way faster on quick sheath, but honestly, at least in my opinion, every time I see any speedrunner use their EI, I feel like they always have more time to actually react. I don't think it's really that big of a deal to lose 1 quick sheath. Now, if this is a big deal for you, you can just go for the fall quick sheath that we talked about before. But if you want to try this out, you can also do it, and you get yourself a whole weakness exploit over it, right? Which is gonna give you way more affinity. You can see the setup right here is gonna be Rathalos Helm, Numinous Shroud, Rathalos Ground Braces, Gore Coil, Gore Graves, Counter Charm. Now, it actually could be the same setup as we talked before, you know, with Chain Jewel instead of Challenger, and just have 1 more weakness exploit. So essentially just better version of it, and it will give you just the same raw damage as we talked about before, but instead of the affinity we had before, it's gonna give you 5 to just normal attack, you know, weak points, which you're gonna be doing damage to anyways, and then 10 when you're actually doing to wounds. So this would end up going like this, right? With this build with Tenderizer 2 instead, which is, you know, looks pretty good to me. That being said, for this experiment, I also wanted to show also how it will be different if you actually get yourself Agitator 4 instead of Mr. Burst here. So I'm just gonna put that Challenger back in there, and you're gonna see the difference right here. I'm just gonna, there we go. And the difference is this one. So for Agitator level 4, you're gonna get yourself 16 raw. And therefore you're gonna end up losing 4 damage, right? Raw damage. Now, of course, it doesn't matter because you have Scorcher that's gonna be doing way more damage anyways, but that is the damage that you're gonna end up losing, right? And then you're gonna yourself your Tenderizer 2, which is super good because it gives you, as we talked about before, 10 affinity, just doing normal damage to normal wounds, and then 15 whenever you normal wounds to weak points, and then 15 to wounds, which will give you 5 over the affinity that you would usually get in your Things build, and then 10 when you attack into wounds, which is super good. Now, personally, it really seems like Burst is better than I would expect. I would probably believe Things because he's the speedrunner, that Agitator is that valuable. More than Burst, because otherwise they would have themselves gone from Agitator 4 and Burst 1, but they didn't do that, so I'm gonna assume that that's actually not better. But I would also guess that for most players, not going for that type of min-maxing is going to be worth it, and probably Burst is going to be worth it. So you guys can let me know For me, I'm probably gonna go for burst because I'm kind of curious, and I don't know. I just, I kind of want to make myself a bit different than them, right? So I'm gonna do that myself. And also, this is gonna be, agitator only triggers whenever you are doing, whenever the boss is indeed enraged. And there's moments where the boss is not enraged. So if you're practicing this and you want to just, you're not gonna be going for a 5-minute run and just kind of starting to get close, it actually might be better. Or maybe, who knows? Maybe he's wrong, and for some reason, me. I just got lucky, and I got lucky and discovered something cool, right? Who knows? I'm a new player. I'm just figuring things out here. I may be completely talking about my ass in this regard, but it just seems like verse is better than they actually, it looks like. But I don't know. But you know what it definitely is? Scorcher is very, very good. And this build, right? So I think it's definitely going to be worth doing because of that. So definitely let me know down in the comments down below what do you guys think about this build. Hopefully they work out for you, and hopefully if I got anything wrong, you guys can tell me, because I think I got everything right, and I've been spending so much time. Okay, I have jewels in my fucking mind. My whole brain has become a jewel. Okay, trying to pair all these sets up. I'm pretty happy with it, and I'm gonna be speedrunning my own version of this. Right, I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna go with my unsheeted, 2 quick sheets instead of 3 set, and see how much damage I can do and see how far I can get. But I'm very excited to stream tomorrow and actually blast this. So definitely go to my Twitch to watch me live, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Probably might actually make a video about how to make builds and how you should be thinking about them, because it's very confusing, and hopefully that helps you. But yeah, subscribe to the channel. See you guys around. Love you all. Bye.